welcome to today's yoga class. My name's Alice, I'm the founder of My Self-Care Edit, and I'm on a mission to encourage everyone to take a little bit more me time. So I encourage you to take the next few minutes just for you, get comfortable. We're going to do a full body wake up flow, so working through all different areas of the body. This is a great flow for first thing in the morning to get your body moving, or just if you've been sitting for a while or if you've been still during the day. This is a great one to really wake up every different area of the body and feel a little more energized and refreshed. So when you're ready, we're going to start in a nice comfortable seated position, so maybe sitting cross-legged. Perhaps you're more comfortable on your knees, so feel free to kneel down if this feels better for you. We're just going to begin by softening or closing the eyes and just taking a couple of nice deep breaths. Taking our time here to let the body settle, find stillness, let the mind settle, knowing that for the next few minutes nothing else matters. We're just going to be moving and breathing. We'll take 3 nice deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. Try taking the biggest inhale you've taken all day, really filling the air with lungs, and sigh it out. And one more breath here, nice deep inhale. And let everything go with your exhale. Now we'll gently blink the eyes open if you had them closed. We're going to take an inhale and draw our arms all the way up above our head. And as we exhale, we'll bring the right hand down to the mat, stretching the left hand up and overhead, taking this nice side stretch here. If you want this to go a little bit further, you can always bring your forearm down to the mat. If by doing this you find that you're kind of rounding forward here, come back up onto your fingertips. We're working to really keep the chest nice and open in this side bend. With your next inhale, we'll rise the arms back up towards the sky, maybe stretching long through the fingertips, wiggling the fingers. And with our exhale, we'll bring the left hand down to the mat and bring the right hand overhead, feeling that nice stretch along the side of the body. Again, if you find that you're sort of collapsing forwards, just come out of the stretch a little bit. See if you can really lengthen up through the side of the body and open the chest up. And with our next inhale, we'll draw the arms all the way up to the sky. And as we exhale, bringing the arms down to our knees. We're going to take a couple of twists to start to wake up the spine. So bring your left hand to your right thigh or outer edge of the leg here. And bring your right hand behind your back. With our inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine, sitting up really nice and tall. And as we exhale, starting to twist to the side. So if you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can use the pressure of your hand on your thigh, so not putting pressure directly on the knee here, but working hand to thigh to maybe twist a little bit further. Perhaps bringing your gaze over the right shoulder here. And taking a couple of nice deep breaths as you inhale, lengthening up through the spine, and as you exhale, maybe twisting a little bit further. Not worrying about how deep this twist is, so we're not working towards the deepest possible variation. We're just tuning into our body, listening to what movement we need today. And with your next inhale, coming back through center, placing the right hand on the left thigh, the left hand behind the back, and as you exhale, twisting to the left. So again, you can use that gentle pressure, that connection of hand to leg, to twist a little deeper, making sure that we're not leaning back into this. We're really keeping the spine nice and straight, keeping the spine upright and then twisting into this position here. And taking some nice deep breaths, extending up through the crown of the head with your inhale, maybe twisting a little bit deeper with your exhale, bringing the gaze over the left shoulder if that feels good. And then we'll come back through center. From here, we're going to come into a kneeling position. So we're going to tuck our toes and bring the weight back towards our heels. So if this feels painful, you can always bring your hands down to the mat and you can work through some movements with the spine here for this next section. But if this feels okay, I invite you to sit up onto your heels, maybe using your hands to really splay out the toes here. So we're going to be activating the feet, waking up the feet and really getting into all of those muscles in the toes and the feet during this position. This is known as screaming toe pose, so if there is quite a lot of sensation, don't worry. If at any point it becomes too much, just lean your weight forward and you'll feel some more release in the feet there. So we're going to do a little bit of opening up of the chest whilst we are here. So taking a nice deep inhale, bringing the arms up to the sky, fingertips up towards the sky, really nice and engaged and active in the fingertips. As we exhale, we'll bend the elbows and create this sort of 90-degree angle. So our elbows are in line with our shoulders and our hands, our wrists are in line with our elbows, so creating this 90-degree angle with the body. So with our next exhale, we're going to round forward, bring the forearms to touch, tuck the chin into the chest. And as we inhale, opening out, stretching out through the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale to round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, bring the forearms to touch. And inhale, opening everything out. Imagine you are blooming flowers, so opening out towards the sky. With your next exhale, drawing back in, curling up into that kind of little ball, bring the forearms together, tucking the chin to the chest. And inhale to open out, stretch the chest. Maybe feeling a bit more sensation in the toes at the moment, don't worry, we've just got one more round of breath here. So as you exhale, drawing in, tucking the chin to the chest, bringing the forearms to touch. And as you inhale, opening everything out, expanding through the chest here. And with your next breath, bringing the hands down to the mat, lifting off the heels, maybe shaking out the feet here, bringing a little bit more movement back into the feet, maybe wiggling the toes. Hopefully they're feeling nicely energized there. So from here, we're just going to come into an all fours position for a moment. So hip, knees and hands down to the mat. And then we'll tuck our toes, lift our hips up and back to our first downward facing dog. So you can take any movement that feels good here, pedaling out the legs, shaking the head side to side, yes and no, relaxing the jaw. And the next time that you bend into your left knee, I want you to hold here. I invite you to feel the stretch, so working to straighten the right leg, bending into the left. Taking a nice deep breath, feeling the hamstrings, the backs of the legs waking up, turning on here. And then bending into the right knee, straightening out the left leg. Feeling again that stretch of the hamstrings, the back of the leg. Waking up the legs here. And then maybe bending into both knees. We're going to look forward between the palms. Step both feet up towards the top of the mat. And with your inhale, lifting halfway, lengthening the spine, lengthening the legs. And as you exhale, folding forward over the legs. Maybe feeling a bit of space created in the hamstrings from that downward facing dog stretch. And with our next inhale, we'll slowly rise all the way up to standing at the top of the mat. We're going to take a big inhale, and bring our arms all the way up above our heads, taking a full body stretch, reaching your fingers as high as you can. And as we exhale, folding from the hips, folding forwards into our forward fold. We'll inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs, and exhale to plant the palms, step both feet back to the back of the mat in a plank pose. You can bring your knees down at any point here. From here, we're going to step our right foot outside of our right hand. So if you want to bring your knees down first, you can. We'll step the right foot up. So if we were sort of reading from left to right across the mat here, it would go left hand, right foot. So both hands are inside the right leg. We're going to take some nice circles into the hips. So any movement that feels good here, waking up the hips, moving into the hips here, taking the circles in the opposite direction, and just moving with however feels good. So not worrying about what this looks like, just really feeling into it, waking up the body, waking up the right hip. And we'll just find a moment of stillness just to checking in with how the body's feeling, how the breath is feeling. Maybe the breath has quickened. See if you can take some nice deep breaths and just start to slow it back down. And from here, we'll bring the right foot back, bringing the knee down to the mat, meeting the left. And we'll step the left foot up outside of the left hand. So you can use your hand as much as you need to assist. So if you need to sort of pick the foot up to get this up towards the top of the mat, then feel free. This, if we are reading the mat from kind of left to right here, we've got left foot, left hand, right hand. So all nicely planted down on the mat. Again, we'll take those nice circles into the hips, maybe flexing the foot a little bit if you want to get a little bit more into the hamstrings, taking those circles and moving in whatever way feels good for you today. And then taking the circles in the opposite direction. So waking up the hips. And then we'll find a moment of stillness once more and check in with the body. So a lot of emotion can be stored in the hips. Often if we have mental stress, if there's a lot going on in our mind, this can sometimes manifest as tightness in the hips. So by just giving our body just a few moments to stretch out, to release, then hopefully this will help your mind to relax a little bit more too. And just taking one more deep breath here. And then we're going to swing that left knee back to meet the right. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back into our downward facing dog. And just noticing how this downward facing dog feels compared to the first of your practice. With all of our downward facing dogs, we're really working to extend the spine. So if you need to take a soft bend into the knees in order to do this, then feel free to. It's not essential to kind of lock out the legs or to get the heels down to the mat. If your body doesn't feel good in this position, then bring that soft bend into the knee and just work to really lengthen the spine, lengthen the back. From here, we'll drop our knees down to the mat and walk the fingertips out in front, so walking the hands forward. We're going to keep our hips over our knees and let the chest sink down. So coming into our puppy pose here. So stretching out through the upper body here. Taking some nice deep breaths. And then slowly walking the hands over towards the right, so the top right of the mat. And letting the chest sink down once more, maybe bringing the forehead to the mat. And feeling that stretch, that extension all the way along the left side of the body. And then walking the hands through center and over to the left side of the mat, so the top left corner, and sinking the chest down once more, feeling that extension into this side of the body. Maybe you feel it in the right armpit, the right tricep. Maybe it's more in the side of the body, sort of between the rib cage and the hips perhaps. And just checking in with where you feel this here. And slowly walking the hands back through center, sinking the chest down once more, seeing if you can find a little bit more space here. And then slowly coming up into our tabletop, our all fours position. We're going to sink the hips down to the heels and come to either a kneeling position or a cross-legged position, whatever feels more comfortable for you. We're just going to soften or close the eyes and take 3 deep breaths here, breathing in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. Breathing in positive energy and sighing out anything that you don't need. Breathing it all in and letting it all go. Now bring your hands to prayer at the heart, or place both palms down to your chest, whichever you prefer. We're going to bow our head towards our hands and take a moment of gratitude. Gratitude to yourself for showing up on the mat today, for taking time out of your day just for you. Gratitude to your body for moving through this quick wake up flow today. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today's class. I hope you're feeling nice and awake and energized after moving through our body. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch on Instagram or Facebook at myselfcareedit, or take a look at myselfcareedit.com. There is also a 7-day yoga challenge now available. So if you enjoyed today's flow and you want to explore yoga in a little bit more depth, then do take a look at the challenge. It includes flows around all different areas of the body, so focusing on the shoulders, the core, the spine, the hips, the hamstrings, the feet, and connection to the breath as well. So lots of different things to try, plenty to choose from. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining.